This question belongs to database management system subject and was asked in GATE 1990. So the question states, choose the correct alternatives. Indicate which of the following statements are true. A relational database which is in 3NF may still have undesirable data redundancy because there may exist transitive functional dependencies, non-trivial functional dependencies involving prime attribute on the right side, non-trivial functional dependencies involving prime attributes only on the left side, non-trivial functional dependencies involving only prime attributes, and option E, both A, B, and D. So let's see. So basically, there is a misconception regarding this transitive functional dependency. So I will try to remove this misconception. So let us see. Suppose there are two questions. Can 3NF have transitive functional dependency? This is a question. So let me give you an answer. Yes, it can have a transitive functional dependency. I will prove it. So what is a transitive functional dependency? Let us suppose we have a relation and we have something like alpha determines beta and beta determines A such that A doesn't belong to beta as well as A doesn't belong to alpha. A doesn't belong to alpha. In this case, and if B can't determine alpha, then this is called alpha belongs to A is called a transitive functional dependency. Okay, now let me give you an example like whether we can have a transitive functional dependency in 3NF or not. So let's take this example. Suppose we have functional dependencies defined on the relation R, A, B, C, D such that the functional dependencies are AB determines CD and we have CD determines AB and we have A determines C. So what is the candidate key? Candidate key is AB as we can have AB closure equals to it determines AB as well as CD. So AB closure determines everything. Thus candidate key is AB and we can have another candidate key as CD. And what are prime attributes? Everything is a prime attribute A, B, C and D. And what is a non-prime attribute? Nothing is a non-prime attribute. Everything is prime. So here we can easily see as everything that is being determined is a prime attribute and we have no non-prime attribute. Thus this relation is in 3NF. So this relation is in 3NF. Now let us see whether it has transitive functional dependency or not. So see this. We can have something like we have AB determines A. Yes, AB determines A and it is it is trivial functional dependency. Can we have A determines C? Yes, we can have A determines C from this. Now using this, does C belongs to A? No, C doesn't belongs to A. Now whether C belongs to AB? No, C doesn't belongs to AB. And whether A determines AB? Yes, A determines AB. It's no, A can't determine AB because A just can determine only A as well as C. What is A closure? A closure is A and A closure is C. And can we determine anything with AC? No. So A can't determine AB because A can't determine B. Thus, this is a transitive functional dependency. Thus, it is a transitive functional dependency and it is 3NF. So, which means 3NF can have a transitive functional dependency. So, 3NF can have a transitive functional dependency. So, this is true. Now, let us see the next option. Now, we will see whether, let us see the next option. Just remember few of the basic things that I am writing over here. Can 3NF has a transitive functional dependency? Yes, 3NF can have a transitive functional dependency. And if there is a transitive functional dependency in 3NF, then we can have, let me write over here, we can have a transitive functional dependency with prime attribute on let me rewrite this. We can have a transitive functional dependency such that prime attribute can be transitively dependent on candidate key. And this we seen in the previous example that I have given. In the example what we had a relation on ABCD, we had a relation on ABCD such that AB determines CD, CD determines AB, and A determines C, and we have seen that there we have seen that what we have seen that AB determines C was a transitive functional dependency. We have proved it, and that relation was in 3NF. So here we can easily see that we can have a prime attribute. C is a prime attribute, can be transitively dependent on candidate key. AB was candidate key. So we can have a prime attribute transitively dependent on candidate key. Now let me write the next point. We can't have a transitive functional dependency with candidate key determining a non-prime attribute. Okay, this is a very important thing. And let me tell you one more thing. In 3NF, everything is allowed except this non-super key determining a non-prime attribute. Okay, so let me tell you these things again. Let me tell you about, yeah, so let me tell you these things again. Okay, so we have seen that 3NF can have transitive functional dependency. I gave you an example for that, and from that example we can easily see that non-trivial functional dependency there AB was determining C. So we can have non-trivial functional dependencies involving prime attribute on the right hand side. It had C on the right hand side, so this is allowed. So option B is also true. Now let us see non-trivial functional dependencies involving prime attribute only on the left side. So what is the meaning of prime attribute only on left side? Which means on right side we will have non-prime attribute, as it is a non-trivial functional dependency. If left is prime, then the right will be non-prime. Whether this is allowed or not. So let us see. No, this is not allowed, as we cannot have non-prime attribute on the right hand side, and only on the left hand side prime attribute must be there. This is also false. And in this example, this is a non-trivial function dependency, and on the right hand side also we can have prime attribute. So option C is false. Option D, non-trivial functional dependencies involving only prime attribute. Yes, everything is allowed except for this. Non-super key cannot determine non-prime attribute. We can have a non-trivial functional dependencies involving only prime attribute. Example is this only. It is non-trivial functional dependencies. A, B, and C all are prime attributes. So D is also true. So the answer is option A, B, and D. So answer is option E.